What's up? This is Gordon Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, welcome back to another great show. Look, Adina, I'm not Greg Gray, but I am the crew. And I want to say this before we get started. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. You know, we got to get that out the way before we get the show started, because somebody might come back and say, well, Gina said, well, Mo said, well, one of the Dope Living TV people said. So we just want you to know just what I just said. Okay? Well, you know what? We're going to have an awesome show today. We have a super guest. And I will have to say that I'm going to be vouching for her all through the show, because I can give testimony, and I'm going to let her explain what it is she does, but I'm going to be vouching all through the show. But before we get her on, I want to bring on my bro.
What's
Hey,
going on?
Mo.
What she said. What she said.
What I said.
Right, that's right. What you said.
How's it going, Mo?
Going good. Had a smashing
good.
evening yesterday. Grandson.
Yes. What did you guys take him out to dinner? What you do?
Oh, he's wanting to do something big, movie, and
You got to tell everybody what happened. What you talking about?
Oh, my grandson, honor society, sophomore year in school, so he got a couple more years.
Yeah. You know what? You don't usually see young Black men in the honor society in high school.
No, I mean it's actually surprising. It was 34, and out of those, there's probably about 50-50.
Wow, that is so awesome. That is so. It's wonderful to see that. I was in the honor society when I was in high school at West Side, and it was mostly females. We didn't have a lot of young men in the honor society, because you know what? It's a stigmatism there that, if you're smart and in the honor society, you get picked on. They call you nerd. They call you names, and the boys wanted to be part of the crew.
Right. You want to be cool. So, like I told him, you still could be cool and be in honor society. You just be a smart, cool person.
That's right. That's right.
And,
go ahead.
I always had them long talks with him. That's my boy.
That's awesome. Boy. So glad.
So proud of him.
Well, let's bring on our sis who's waiting in the green room. Hey, Marcy.
Yes. Hey. Congratulations again to your grandson. Yes. And we are also proud of him as well.
Cool.
And
Thanks,
yes, we were called nerds, those of us in the honor society. And I didn't care. And I'm still a nerd. And proud of it.
Yes,
proud of it.
With the capital N.
Amen.
They
hallelujah.
Make a whole bunch of other nerds too. You know how we do.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Well, you know what? We have a guest that's coming on in a few minutes that, oh my gosh, she's got to tell us how she started this journey. We're having a conversation with an entrepreneur, not just an entrepreneur, but she's a CEO. She was also featured in the magazine Heart and Soul magazine. Man, she is doing her thing. And you know what? I got questions.
I do too. We have questions.
Anytime you have an entrepreneur that is just, pushing through all the barriers and all the roadblocks that come before them, we want to know how you did it. There's some out there that's trying to get over those humps, trying to get over those roadblocks that, they can come on, she can come on and tell them, do this, work around this way. Don't let people stop you,
Well, just like we're supposed to do, we're supposed to show each other the path.
Right. But you know what? One of the things that I always hear from entrepreneurs, myself included, is that you always had people around you, whether it was family or friends, that said you can't do it.
Yeah, or that old stigmatism, they say, you're doing what white people do, stuff like that. They used to I used to hit out in the public, and I'm like, what do you mean you're doing what white people do? Living? Being successful? What you do? What you mean about that?
And then you also have the people that once they stumble and they fall, they feel that, hey, right. And I just don't know what else to do. And that's why we should, if you're an entrepreneur, or even if you're not an entrepreneur, but you just have information that you can give, we should support each other and, help them get back up. Take that first step to getting back up. Yep.
Yes.
Lisa.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, you know what? Without further ado, we are going to bring on CEO of PassionsFruitopia, and I'm going to chop this up. Charcuterie? Come on, help me out, Marcy.
You done messed me up. I knew it. Charcuterie.
You know what? I'm gonna let her say it because I know I'm gonna chop this up. So let's bring our guest on.
Hey, Rasheida.
Hey, Rasheida.
Hello.
You should have sent that in, like, know how they did in elementary school when they separated it with the little line in there. That's what you should have did for me.
Well, that's what I do when I teach the class. I teach people how to pronounce it, and I split it up. Charcuterie.
There
we go.
There we go.
Charcuterie. Hey, charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Hey.
So I break it down. You gotta, you break it down. Just like you said, in school they break it in syllables.
That's right.
That's right. You got to do that for me. You got to do that.
That's what phonics did for us. For us.
Oh, yeah.
We welcome you. You look beautiful. We are so happy to have you on, and I'm excited to know how you got started. And I want to hear your journey, every part of it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, the show ain't long enough, y'all. Y'all ain't long.
Come on.
I need a drink on that one.
You see, Greg backed out on us.
Yes.
He was scared. He was scared to be with you.
He wasn't ready for this.
He wasn't
ready.
Watch it. He might pop on and say, "What you talking about, Maurice?"
Whatever.
Well, you know what? We could call him Gregory. We're gonna call him Greggy all through the show.
Oh, here come on.
He's not here. We just gonna throw
that.
Make me joke. Just keep throwing that out there.
Where's Ella? She'll call him Greggy.
Oh my goodness. So what? Basically, let me just give you the definition of what charcuterie means. It itself means French butcher. So, it's the dried meats, the salami, prosciutto, capicola. You got to say it like that with an accent. I don't know.
Like that.
You know what I'm saying.
Keep it going, won't you?
And so usually it's dried meats and cheeses and usually some type of bread. That's the foundation of what a charcuterie experience is. But of course, what we do, we put our own spin on it. So my spin, yes, I put olives, I put fruit, I put Kamada olives, I have garlic filled olives in it. I try and create a colorful, flavorful, aesthetically pleasing edible arrangement. So that's what I try, and I want to stimulate your eyes, and I want your mouth to water looking at it. We eat with our eyes as well. So I try and create an experience that you enjoy, and also it's healthy. I'm always looking for a healthier option.
Okay.
Well, I have to say, you put edible arrangements to shame.
Thank you so much.
To shame.
Thank you. I take my time and I pride myself on finding the right fruits and vegetables based on the seasons. Because what a lot of people think you only get fruit in the summertime. No, there are some winter fruit, but you just got to find the right apples. And Golden Delicious and Red Delicious are not really that delicious in the winter. You want to go with the Galas or the Fuji. And so I personally took time and researched because you can't. Don't get me wrong. I love watermelon. I know that people think it's a stereotype. I love watermelon.
I do too. I don't care what people think. I'm gonna eat a watermelon down to the rind, down to the white meat, down to the white meat.
Have it juices dripping
It
down
ain't
your
good unless it's running down your arm.
Oh my goodness!
Get down to the white meat too.
Down to the white meat.
Knowing your fruits and vegetables on the season, in the season and out of season.
Come up a little bit, Rasheida. We're losing your sound.
Okay, is that better?
Yep, much better.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, but I had to do a lot of research. I had to, when you find something that you're passionate about, it's not work. And I have had many passions, but this one right here, it brings me joy. It puts me in a happy place. And right now, with so much of other things going on in the world, I'm constantly trying to stay in my happy place.
Right.
What made you go into that?
Okay, so when we moved here from New York, where Rochester, New York is where I'm originally from, we had two of our 4 children living with us, and it was our daughter's. Y'all call it an open house. Now, I ain't never heard of it called an open house until I moved here. I thought an open house was when you buy a house and then you have friends over and they buy you stuff for your house. No.
Talking about graduation.
That's what it was. And my daughter was an athlete. She was a cheerleader. So and at that time it was in 2016. And everything the most popular thing was to have candy tables. My daughter was not a big candy person. She was like, Ma, I want something healthier. You creative, Ma, come on. Let me see what you can do. I was like, that's a challenge that I can do. So I dove into my research. I found things on Pinterest and YouTube and everything. And I pulled from different things and I created my own. And I created a 4-foot tall pineapple tree that sat in the center of a whole coffee table. And I made...
Wait a minute. You did what?
Wow. We get pictures.
And I created monkeys at the base of it. Their bodies made out of fruit. And then I had all around the base of it.
That's it right there. Okay.
Yeah. I know that was the very first one. So, and that stood pretty tall in the center.
Yes. How did you get those pineapples to stay steady like that?
So what I did is I have, you all, for who those don't know, I am married. I'm the better half of Lisa Bennett, but she's very handy. So I Googled how to create that. It's PVC. I cored out the pineapples.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I put inspect them on top and did some other things. And you stick a lot of skewers in there to kind of stabilize it.
Yeah.
So, and there you go. But yet once again, that was a lot of research. So I took the time to figure it out. And I think the prep on that was a lot more, because I think that fed about 65 people.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it was not much left. But that was my very, very first time. And from that point, I really liked it. I enjoyed the process. I learned so much that, I mean, I when you are out of practice of just, you do, what comes easy. And that's usually, it comes easy. You're not learning anything. You just rinse and repeat. And I tapped into that learning bug again. And so I have carving tools. I have taken YouTube classes on how to use these tools, how to create, how to just the art of illusion, and it's all about placement. Placement, I can cut things in the same squares, but if I place it strategically, it's about being that creative. My Lisa calls me a creative. I am very detail oriented about placing this here to place it here, and it gives it an illusion or a vision of it being layered. It's all about the aesthetics and what you see. Color all is a another one. So that's why I love all the fruits that are the reds, the yellows, the oranges. Those colors trigger happy feelings. Those two bring as happy memories. Like my brother Mo said, he said, listen here, when you got the watermelon drink, I remember being a kid sitting on the back porch because you couldn't be out inside the house. You sit on the front or the back porch. You sit out there and you eat and get all sticky, go back to the go over to the water spout, go ahead, wash it off, drink a little bit.
That was messy.
Them was the days. Them was the days.
Yes. Marcy, you had a question?
I do. You spoke about going on YouTube and learning how to do this. Do you give classes?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about that.
Classes in person, one-on-one. I can teach you in person with you, a group of friends, or family time, or I can do it virtually as well. Now, I love the virtual classes because I get to meet more people. I've had my last class, the host was in Houston. She had some of her friends in Las Vegas and a couple of friends in Atlanta. It was such a great experience. And as I teach you how to create a small personal board or a board for multiple people, but I also pair whatever cocktail or wine that goes well with the charcuterie as well. So I teach virtual and in person.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So are there any fruits that you stay away from?
It's honestly, I'm going to say no. I'm open to a lot of different fruits. One of my favorites that I always wanted to work with, but never was able to find it. And what I try and do, I don't put anything on my trays that I have not tasted. So I, because it's so beautiful, is dragon fruit. Dragon fruit, it's so beautiful, but every time I've had it, it don't taste like
it does not taste good at all. It tastes like plastic.
Well, dragon fruit can be decoration. You don't have that can be one you don't have to eat.
Right. So that's what I use it for decor. But there are some people, they go, oh, is that dragon fruit? And they pick it up and they put it in their mouth, and I'm just going, oh.
Ew.
My grandkids, my granddaughters love dragon fruit, and I'm like, how do they eat that?
Maybe that's one of the fruits that's just really pretty. Like mangoes, you can cut those and make them real pretty, but they still taste good.
Yeah.
But dragon fruit, it's pretty. It's just
mangoes and reindeer cherry.
And anything you put on that tray, I'm eating.
But Gina, she's sitting there. Look at my wine, man.
I am eating it, baby.
I'm a fruit freak as well.
Yeah, me too. I got a whole. My wife has to buy baskets and baskets of fruit for me because I'm a diabetic. So
now your trays have more than just fruit on them. Tell us some of the other things you put on there.
Well, I use a variety of items, and of course, I said with the seasons, it makes a difference. So, around the holidays, I use a lot of pomegranates because that's another.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
One of the fruits around the holidays that's really good. That one I actually got contracted for, and that was for a graduation party in Orlando. So I've traveled from Orlando to Las Vegas to Atlanta, back in New York, right here in Gary. I'm just saying, it's been a beautiful experience being able to travel doing something that you really, really enjoy. But I do use a lot of variety. I love the honey, and I'm trying to find more Black-owned honeybee keepers, trying to find and partner with local farmers versus just Costco's, all these. Don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with those companies, and they have come through, but I'm trying to make there's power in my dollar, and I want to put it back into my community, into
Let's go make that circle.
But those homegrown fruits and vegetables taste better.
Yes,
they taste a lot better.
I agree completely. And right now is not strawberry season. It's not. But you can find some. But there you got to put some, as my grandmama said, go and throw some sugar on them. They'll be just fine.
No, not sugar. No.
Really? No. Yeah, but I try and find all kinds. I love dried fruits. Give me some dried apricots and some dried banana chips. Just throw it. It's the texture, the color. And with charcuterie, the best part about charcuterie is it's an array of things. So on the spread, there's going to be something for someone. I mean, for everyone at the party. If somebody will find one or two things, but what you want to do is a healthy version of the sweets and the salties and the more pungent cheeses. I try and find things
Brie.
other than. Yep, we do brie. I love Havarti. Havarti cheese is so good. And one of my favorites is the Havarti with the dill in it. Oh my goodness. I love the smoked Goudas.
Wow.
Yeah, that one. And that's just from a carving class. You learn how to carve it. And those are fruit kebabs inside of the watermelon. And
I see the watermelon balls.
Yeah, the watermelon balls. Now, I will say this. For adults, I do create fruit kebabs and melon balls that have been infused with your favorite liqueur or your favorite wine.
Your favorite spirit.
Yes, your favorite spirits, whichever you choose. So for an added price, of course, but that also adds something different to
there you go, Gina.
cocktails.
That is a beautiful work of art right there.
That's what you need for the wedding. You can sit there in front of me, sit one in front of everybody, and we just sit there at the reception and just.
That's definitely be your centerpiece slash your appetizer. You're in between, when you come back from the wedding, and then they have to go take pictures. That little happy hour.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people use charcuterie during that hour, and instead of and because otherwise you got the regular hors d'oeuvres. You want to try something different, and it tastes good and it looked good. I'm just saying.
And you know what? You have a lot of sip and paint parties and things of that nature. Though your classes are a delightful difference of something that someone wants, groups that might want to do like women's ministries or girls' night out or something of that nature. Because a lot of times when you go to these sip and paint parties, we have the pictures and it's like, okay, we're not, professional painters, and it goes in the garage. I know my paintings are all in the garage and I can paint, but they go in the garage versus here's food we all like to eat. And that would be cute, something different to do for the different little parties and things. Yeah.
Let me say what Ladine said. Local honey, Faith Farm, Ancient Mystic, Black-owned Beehive. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you, Ludine. See, I love Ludine. She knows.
And you know something else about local honey? If you have allergies, it helps you with allergies when you're getting local honey because they're going into the plants and things in your area.
Wow.
So that will help you because, I forgot some medicinal properties because it's the plants that's in your area. So it helps you from the allergies that you're allergic to in your area for the plants to help you with that.
Could that be because of the pollen in the air? You're inhaling that pollen. So I guess they're taking that and putting it back into the plant for you. Putting it back into the honey for you.
It's the ones that's native to your area.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So that helps you with the allergies that you have because of the area where you live at.
So let's go back to what Marcella brought up because I like that concept. Even have those what would you call it? A sipping charcuterie? Charcuterie.
Yeah, yes, charcuterie.
And cool.
Wait. I don't know.
I'm gonna have to break that down to just cool.
Yeah.
Charcuterie.
Oh baby, oh baby.
Emo, no. You know, on every TikTok, on Instagram, they call them charcuterie boards. Oh my gosh, I'm
Really?
so over those. Yes, everyone. Yeah. See, and this is why. Hold on. I need another drink.
I'm stopping.
You know, that I can see that as a good date night.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, implementing that in there because they do it with cooking like dating cooking classes, or sometimes I had a friend that took like 6 other friends to one of those cooking things, and you make your own meal, and that's cool.
Well,
I would love to do something like
you
that with fruit.
You said dating night, and then you go home with that fruit, and you can work some things out.
Mm-hmm. Never a lot of charcuterie. A lot of charcuterie.
Come on, Marco. You already know.
Just saying.
Oh, the watermelon just go
bring the honey too now. Bring the honey.
Husband or your wife. Look, with your husband or your wife. Let me clean that up because I'm the
with whomever or whatever you want to call yourself.
It's an idea.
It is a great idea. Actually, I have created a Valentine's Day, because Valentine's Day is coming. It's right around the corner, but it doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day. It could be just because. But I have gone to people's homes and set up in their dining room or wherever they want it. I've done it in bedrooms too. And I set up a charcuterie I can do personal boxes. I can do boxes for 2 people, 3, 4, whatever number, whatever. And I set it up. I set the whole scene, and then I leave.
That ain't charcuterie. That's your freakery.
And 5 people. Lisa said that is charcuterie.
Lisa.
Stop, Lisa.
I'm not grown enough for this show. Hey, guys,
y'all done went all the way away from fruit now. Y'all done took it away from fruit.
It's the fruits of the gods.
I'm coming back to myself now.
Don't even.
There's some pineapple in there.
Okay.
Listen,
I'm shaking
Marcy
it off.
behind the scene talking about with whipped cream.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Behind the scene, what?
Yeah,
I
feel like you didn't see that. I saw it. Private chat.
No, I do. I try and create those wonderful, wonderful, flavorful experiences. And I also, I used to work for a wine brokerage company in New York. And when I worked for them, I would be the person that would, after you go to a class and you learn how to create this great dish, I'm sitting there. Once the dish is created and they go to sit down to begin to eat, I get up and I explain the 4 or 5 different wines that go very well with the dish that they made. So I already have that in my tool chest. So I just take that and apply it to the foods. And one of my suggestions, when you have more fruit on your platter than you do the salties, I usually go with a drier wine, because you want to go just the opposite almost of what you're eating. Nothing's, if you have fruit and then you drink a sweet wine, your wine isn't sweet. Or if you drink a sweet wine and you get sweet fruit, they kind of cancel each other out. Okay. So you want to, if you do a sweet wine, have an olive with some garlic in it, or have a Kamada olive or the black olives, but you got to have, or a baby dill pickle. That's the crunch on it with a nice sweet wine, because it's the sweet salty. It's a great combination.
Listen to her. So you well versed in that anyway with the wines.
Well, before I started working for the company, I just like to drink. I'm just saying.
Learn from experience.
Give me the Chardonnay. Bring me the Chardonnay. Come on, now bring the whole bottle, Negro. The whole bottle.
E.L. Hughley, he had this skit. And he was talking about Jesus turning water into wine. He said, and I said, keep the party going. Come on now. I was like, hey, so I love to drink wine. And then when I began to learn about it, it expanded my palate. And so at first, when you first start drinking, most women want just a sweet. We want something sweet that tastes good. But when you get beyond the sweet and you start tasting the notes and tasting the things that it was aged in, or the seasonings, those all are just notes on top of each other. That is a a pleasurable experience in your mouth. Ooh. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Ella.
Hey, Auntie Ella.
Okay.
Happy
What
to
made you choose? I know you talked a little bit about, your daughter had an input on that housewarming or open house.
Open
But
house.
what made you choose fruit? I mean, you could have went in a lot of different directions.
Well, again, she's an athlete and she was a swimmer. She was a cheerleader. So we kept fruit in the house all the time because that's that natural sugar that gives you the quick energy. And so I just went with the fruit because I was trying to avoid the candy. I'm trying to avoid the high corn fructose high stuff like that. So I said we still need, and everybody loves fruit. So and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's pretty inexpensive when you find the right wholesaler.
Yeah,
So,
and in season, yeah.
Yeah, and you get a bigger bang for your buck. Don't get me wrong, I love charcuterie, but charcuterie can become very expensive.
Yeah.
Now, you don't use any pork, right?
No, I use, yes, all of the cured meats are usually beef or pork, but I always give a turkey substitute. Wow. Yep, those are pineapple boats and the fruit kebabs. That was for a order. But I do use turkey for people who don't eat pork, and I use a cranberry almond chicken salad as another option. Or you got just all vegetables. You don't want any.
That is so good. I had that.
Yes, you did.
And that pineapple boat. I can't eat pineapples, but I did sneak some, and I prayed, Lord, please don't send me to the hospital. I couldn't resist because it was in my refrigerator. It was actually Robert's. And every time I opened that refrigerator, it was like, come here. Come. And so I did some of the pineapple. It was so good.
And what people don't know is the pineapple itself is the bowl. And that's part of the aesthetically pleasing feature. And people just go, oh, it's so, oh my gosh. And it is so pretty because the outside, it's the contrast of the outside, the green and the yellow on the outside. Then you have the fanned out palms. And then inside on the interior, it's a bright yellow. And then you put blueberries and raspberries and blackberries and all of those. They just, it's just, yes, cherries, all of them. But it's very beautiful, and then at the same time, it just tastes amazing.
Yeah, making my blood sugar go up just listening.
And my mouth over here watering like,
this is good sugar.
Yes, this is healthy sugar.
Just within moderation.
Yes, that's all I'm about to say. Do everything in moderation.
I got myself in bad trouble one night eating a bunch of cherries. My wife went and bought 2 pounds of cherries, and she said, "Here, baby." And I sit down there and I ate about 1.5 pounds myself.
Wow, Mo.
Yeah, especially the Rainier cherries.
Yeah,
Lord.
Oh my goodness.
They're so sweet. Oh, especially in Indiana. Indiana got some of the best cherries and nectarines and plums and things. Oh,
and grapes and
you can just stand out there. You can say, and the watermelon. Oh Lord have mercy, the watermelon is so good.
But you believe it or not, kiwi is really, really, really good. I like kiwi. In the summer, it's a little too ripe for me. I try and get it a little greener so that it doesn't become slimy. Don't get me wrong, I love but the texture when as a fruit display creator, you want something that you got to have some uniform to it, but also you have to make it. I do a lot. I call it fanning, like when you are playing spades and you fan your cards out so you can see what you're doing with it. Same exact thing when you're doing food placement. You got to fan certain things, like the brie cheese. You cut brie. You have to. The best thing to do is do it when it's really, really cold.
Yeah. Right.
Or goat cheese. You want to use those almost when it's almost frozen. And when you cut it, you get that circle, that perfect circle. Yeah. And then you just layer it, and then it just looks so beautiful. Wow. And then it tastes amazing. My favorite goat cheese that I go to is It's dried cranberry and cinnamon goat cheese that's wrapped. It's all in it, and then I usually have that on a rosemary cracker. It's so delicious.
Those too.
Lord have mercy.
That man, I'm telling you, you're taking me back to Thanksgiving because I ordered one. I did something a little bit different, you guys. Instead of having cakes and pies for Thanksgiving, you know, the traditional, I ordered one of the cooties.
This is cooties. Wait, what?
Cooties.
I don't know. We're gonna get that word right. Charcuterie.
I ordered the charcuterie.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, when she says there's something on there for everyone, I think I had about 15 guests, including children, and even down to the 1-year-old. I mean, everybody. There were some things on there that this person may not care for, but there was something else that they cared for. And I'm telling you, she had a variety of everything. Those chocolates. I don't even normally eat chocolate.
Man, y'all gonna make
but
me
they
fast,
were
huh?
delicious. Those were the good chocolates. You know, there's certain chocolates that are healthy. And then she had those rosemary crackers on there and the chicken. I'm telling you, it was enough for everyone, and everything was gone.
Wow.
And that brings me joy. That means everything that I poured into it, because it's a prize. You got to think about it, and you have to be able to. You want to appeal to the masses, but you also want to be able to make sure that the person that is experiencing this is like, man, that was delicious. I enjoy that. And the best form of flattery for anybody, if you cooking or preparing, is when ain't no leftovers.
Yeah.
No leftovers.
That's the best compliment, I bet.
So you do chocolates and nuts as well?
Yes, I personally, I know dark chocolate is better for us.
Yeah.
Healthy, but I personally don't like it. I think it's bitter. So what I usually go for is usually it's a caramel, the dark chocolate on the outside, but I'll do a caramel on the inside, and then I'll make sure it has the salt on it, so you get the sweet, the salty, all of that. Or I use a milk chocolate, but has a vanilla or a hazelnut inside. So you want to do, like with the chocolates, you want to, because it's sweet, then you want to do something, like I said, that's salty. So I also do mixed nuts, and I splurge on certain things. I can buy grapes and strawberries and blueberries in anywhere, but when it comes to my mixed nuts, I need to have Brazilian nuts, cashews, pistachios, sunflower seeds, all of that. I mean, I want to try. Everybody eats. There are a lot of options out there. I want to try and introduce you to something different that you probably would have never even tried before. So I try and expand other people's palates as mine has expanded over time. So I just want to share that. Like, listen, there is other cheese other than Kobe Jack and cheddar.
Cheddar, right.
Don't get me wrong, they're good in their places, but let's try.
And you know what? That's what I find for me over the years. Most of the things that I've tried that was new was out somewhere and someone else had something and they're like, hey, you want to try that? Oh, I don't like that. Well, wait a minute. I haven't tasted that. Let me taste that. And, you know, versus me having to get a whole meal or something on my own. And then, okay, I really don't like that. But when you taste a little bit of this and that, and like you said, you have a little bit of everything in there and something like that, you can taste things and be like, oh, because you've named some things like let me see, there's a lot of dried cinnamon, cranberry on rosemary crackers. Now I would see all those flavors and be like, oh, heck no. No, you know, but something like your charcuterie. Did I say that? I want to say charcuterie. No, but
it's all right.
That's something that you know where you can, you know, like, oh, I like all this fruit over here, but okay, wait a minute, let me just taste this. And then it's like, then you have repeat customers, and then word of mouth. You should taste this, and like, oh my God, you know. I like your concept.
It
So,
is a process, and I love it.
Yeah, the
but
fact that you had such variety on there, it was just amazing. It was more than what I expected.
Wow. Well, I'm glad. Yay! That means I'm doing my job.
Now you have something coming up for Valentine's Day, correct?
Well, it's not just Valentine's Day. It is the whole month of
February,
February.
Okay, tell us a little
I
bit
am
about
the
that.
the
juicy
whole
month,
month of February.
the
I
charcuterie
am
month.
the charcuterie month
Yeah.
on Thursday evenings and on Saturday afternoons. I am offering virtual classes on how to create your own personal charcuterie board or creating a grazing table for an event or friends. And I teach you just 2 or 3 techniques that are so easy, it's so fast, and it is all done maybe in about an hour and a half. And it's on Eventbrite, and it's PassionsFruitopia. It's called just, creating food for your loved ones. It doesn't matter if it's you, your cousin, and your love, your homie, friend, whomever. But I'm teaching it every Thursday, excuse me, and every Saturday in the month of February. It's only $30, but it's a virtual class. I ask for at least a minimum of at least 5 people if you're going to do a group setting. But if not, I'm there on Thursdays and on Saturdays.
So what else is going on here?
Well, this was one of my branding photo shoots. This was a huge what you see in front of you is one of my boards. I actually have a charcuterie board. Those wood pieces. That one's pretty long. It's about maybe about 3 feet, maybe 4 feet.
Not your typical cutting board?
No, this one is actual about 2 feet wide, about 4, maybe 5 feet, no, 4 feet long. And it's like and I use it, and I put that on a table. It was the whole length of the table. And then I just placed things strategically there. And that was part of my branding photo shoot. I'm going to say in some of those pictures I have, you haven't even shown them yet. Yes. Now, everybody go, that is not Lisa. That is not your wife. And if it is, hey, I was like, I know. No, his name is William Bryant. He's an actor. He was on Greenleaf. He played the lawyer that was helping the family. He was the family's lawyer. His name's William, but he is the most coolest, nicest guy, and he is good on the ass. Hallelujah! When he do it,
she said, "Hallelujah."
He was like, "Why you touching him? Why? It's a picture. Get out your feelings."
Yeah.
And he cooks as well. He's he does a lot of cooking himself. He's a chef in the family. So when he came there, he was like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful." So as we're doing this photo shoot with all of this food in front of us, of course, y'all don't see it, but we're eating all the pieces. And he was like, "Yo, this is the best job so far. I get to eat and take pictures." So that was a really cool experience. And it helped with me with branding. And I guess in entrepreneurship, you have to know you can have a gift or a vision, but you have to have a plan. I mean, at first I was the creative, and as you all know, my Lisa is my process person. So to a creative and a process, that's a good combination. Sometimes, I'm just gonna say sometimes, but the key here is I was able to do what I do best, which was create. And she helped me with the process and the business plan and advertising. And we call it entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. There have been times where I was sitting here like, oh my God, I don't know why. And then I get an order, and then I get in my zone. So when I get ready, when I'm getting ready, my setup for work, let me show you what I do. First, I set my mood. I get my music, and my go-tos is Beyonce, some Lettucey, some Jill Scott. They evoke such power, and I'm just being in my zone. And then I wash my fruits and vegetables. I place all my item out so I can see what I'm working with, and then I start food prepping. And the biggest, most important key in preparing for these is food prep. If you prep it right, you can just do it really quickly. And then I just start creating. And there are sometimes I can recreate anything I see, but there are times where I have to sketch out. I sketch out how I want it to look. And sometimes I'll get to the event and I'll go, yes, that's not what I'm doing. And I will go, okay, Lord, I need you to guide me. And I will create something totally different than what I sketched out.
That's a talent. That's a talent. Mo, you had a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how she was received in Indiana, coming from New York, doing the charcuterie.
Yes, you woo! I was
better than the Chicago. I mean the Charcuterie.
Now he done made up a whole nother word. I'm gonna say Gary has been very, very loving, giving me a lot of love. But it's a lot of education, because when I say to people, oh, I do create charcuterie. They was like, what?
What?
I said, and the cup, right? That sounds like a disease. I said, no, it's not. I said, okay. I told this to my uncle. My uncle, he is 72, and he said, what is that? I said, Uncle Clyde, it is a cheese and cracker tray. Well, why you ain't just say that? I said, well, other stuff too. He was like, no, you just said cheese and cracker tray.
Well, I'm with
I
Uncle.
Went through that.
I'm gonna call it cheese and cracker tray.
You know,
I can't get that word.
I was telling someone yesterday about the show today, and I said charcuterie, and they were like, "What?" I said, "Okay, cheese and crackers." You know, and add some dried meat to it. Add some dried meat. They're like, "Oh yeah, why you call it that?"
Right.
Like, but
so
I have a couple questions.
It is a constant education.
Culture up, diverse.
Yes.
What's a grazing table, number one? And number two, when you finish that, can you explain with your classes? So it's $30 and then plus a grocery list. You give us a grocery list so that we can have. Can you explain that after the grazing table, please?
Okay. Grazing table is just that. Graze. I create a whole entire table for you to walk around and graze. So I put fruit, I put vegetables, I put everything that you would get on a charcuterie board, but on a larger scale.
On a table.
And you just come and you graze. What grazing? What do animals do? Is they sit, they come up, they eat a little bit, they go back where they're going, or they come back to that area to get something else, they go back, you graze. So it's a grazing table. So you usually have grazing tables at, like I said, the happy hour of a wedding, for corporate events, for photo shoots, mixers. I've done art exhibits afterwards, the after parties, holiday parties, corporate parties, just because parties. So grazing table is a great way to not have to serve food, hot food, and still give a huge variety of for an event.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to add to the second portion, the second question. For virtual parties, what I do, once you have paid for your party and we've selected the date, I will send you an email, and in that email, it'll give you all of the instructions, some suggestions of types of items to purchase, placed based on the area that you're in. I usually recommend Aldi's because it's inexpensive, but they have a large variety of things. And once we start that, I tell everybody, I send you a short little video. It says, hey, it's night before, usually the night before the event. I say, you know what? The best thing for you to have fun for tomorrow at your event, this is, you got to do prep. And the prep is washing your stuff, making sure it's all nice and cold, stick it all in the refrigerator, cut up what you want to have cut up, because the point of creating the charcuterie board is you don't want to be trying to wash stuff and cut stuff. What you should have to do is just push, put this here, pick it up, put this here, pick it up, put it here. And once you have created, the best part at the end of creating it is eating it.
Eating it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, I know. Tell us about the Valentine's charcuterie class. It's on Eventbrite.
Yes, it is. It's on
And that's
Eventbrite.
on your. Is that on your site?
Yes, it is. My site is www.passions with an S fruitopia.com. PassionsFruitopia, FRUITOPIA.com. PassionsFruitopia.
Yes, yes. I love that passion thing. That just makes it even better. Well, you know what? I've had so much fun, and I'm excited because I know what it tastes like. I know that it was just heaven. I'm telling you, everybody at my house on Thanksgiving enjoyed it. And it took the place of the cakes and pies, so it made me feel good inside too. But
Listen,
we're wrapping up. This is the time when we give out those nuggets. We want you, Rasheida, to start off and give our people some nuggets.
all right. So this is one of the things that I do. And I use Post-its and I put them on my mirror in my bathroom and on the mirror in my hallway. And on those Post-its, they have inspirational sayings. I said, you might slow down. You might even stumble. Just don't stop. There are days I can't, and there are days where I read that multiple times a day because you got good days and bad days. And in those moments when you feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, because everybody has those. If you don't have them, something is wrong with you. But you do not, you may slow down, you may even stumble, you might even fall flat on your face. Just make sure you don't stop. Keep going.
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again.
Yes. That's a children's book with a children's jingle right there, Gina. Okay. For entrepreneurship or something for young people. You know, this young lady here, Rasheida Bennett, has taught us that just because it's something that you have never done before, you can do your research, you can look at pictures and try new things. And look at what she's done. She's now an entrepreneur. She's doing charcuterie boards and grazing tables and things like this. And this is not something that was not even on her radar, but something that just her daughter suggested. So never think, hey, there's nothing out there for me. I can't be an entrepreneur. Oh, yeah, I like this, what someone else is doing or what someone has suggested. No, you can do it too. Again, with God, all things are possible.
Yes, Marcy. What you got for us, Mo?
Just like Marcia said, actually, Marcia took my thunder.
Sorry.
But anyway, it was just basically the same thing. Basically, the same thing. It's awesome to see somebody take a piece of culture and introduce us to other things to expand our minds and diversify us. The biggest thing, again, like you said, don't stop. You just because you get kicked or something happens to you, every once in a while doesn't mean you have to stay down. That's just a different way of doing. Like they used to say, this is one failure is not failure. It's just another way that you learn not to do it. So
that's good stuff.
Good stuff, Mo. Good stuff. Amen. Wow. Awesome. You know what? I'm not even gonna say the name anymore because I'm gonna chop it up.
We're gonna start talking about
charcuterie.
That right there.
That sounds like a chaka charcuterie.
What was that? The lady, the hoochie girl, how she used to do?
Charo,
yes.
You know what? I love unique things. I am so gullible for things that are unique. I travel, and when I travel, I try to grab things in different countries that I go to, things that people have never seen, because I love unique things. And what Rasheida is doing is very unique. But not only is it unique, it's healthy.
Yes.
Healthy and unique. So it's a lot of good points there, a lot of good reasons to support what she's doing because it's a win-win situation. But she also represents entrepreneurship, something that a lot of us want, something that a lot of people are afraid to step out and do. And she has shown that you step out of your comfort zone and you won't know if it's successful or not unless you do it, right? You would never know unless you try. You're going to spend the rest of your life saying, man, I wonder if I could have been successful. I wonder if that would have worked. I wonder if people would have bought that from me. Stop wondering. Do it. Get out there. Step out there. Try it. See what happens. You may surprise yourself. Rasheida surprised herself. And you know what else? She got a great support system. Man,
Yes.
Lisa over there blowing up the chat, talking about all these links and stuff. She's over there blowing the chat up.
That was a mile-long link.
That's exactly what you need.
Click on that. It won't show up till tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I have learned in entrepreneurship that Lisa and I made this pact in 2019 because we're empty nesters now. It's us and the dog. We said, hey, let's swing for the fences. We have all of our children are grown. They are out of the house. They ain't even in the same state with us. They 10 hours away.
Wow.
What's the next chapter for both of us? And she said this, and I said this. And then life happens, and then the chapters keep going. And I started off doing bath and body product line. I have a bath and body product line as well. That's where I started, and that's where my entrepreneurship journey began, and how it has morphed into charcuterie and fruit. You just don't know what, but you have got to have the courage to swing. You got to try it.
Swing for the fences.
You have to. If you don't, guess what? You're going to be still on first base, or you're going to be still in the dugout. I'm not trying to be in the dugout. I'm trying to hit home runs and make these rounds around all these bases. I'm swinging.
Wow.
Well, you know what? You're doing it, and you make it look good, and you make it look easy.
Look like it tastes good too. Shoot.
Absolutely.
Mess around and have to give me a summer charcuterie. I put it back there with that.
Wait, but how he said that?
I know.
Summer charcuterie, and put it on the table in the back and say, what's that, Pops? That's charcuterie, man. Get on down.
No, do one just for you and Mary Ann. Moby and Mary Ann charcuterie.
We'd have to leave the state of Tennessee, because I'm gonna tell you something. Every time it seems like we get together and want to do something Valentine's Day, people like, how you doing? And grandbaby show up and it's over then, so we have to leave the state. We have to leave the state and get us a room someplace. That's a damn shame. In your own house, you get to go.
Well, Rasheida, we truly, truly enjoyed you. I'm telling you, I loved my fruit tray. It was awesome. Testimony. I am one who can say it was so delicious. The fruit was just delicious. Everything was delicious. And you know what? You're welcome to come back anytime you get ready.
Listen,
your wife done already just took over the show.
But that's okay. It's fun.
That's okay.
I was gone for one day and she took the whole show.
The whole show. I'm surprised her name ain't in the credits yet.
It's coming. Greg Gray's working on that, right?
Well, you know what? We enjoyed you.
Thank you. I enjoyed you also.
Tell us your website again.
The website is www.passionsfruitopia.com. I am on Instagram. I am also, if you go to my Facebook page, Rasheida Bennett, you will see some of my work there as well. But if you go on Instagram, it's PassionsFruitopia 2021. And you know what? I'm just grateful and thankful for this opportunity. Thank you all so much. And thank you for loving and supporting on me.
Yes.
Thank you.
We will be back on Monday, you guys. We got a special treat for you guys next week. Tune in. You're going to love it. Thank you, Rasheida. We love you. You're always welcome. The door is always open for you.
Thank you. I'm going to kick it in.
All right.
Stop it.
Okay, I got an idea.